Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today, I'm once again answering your questions, such as with Patek prices coming down, is Rolex also going down in price? Is the watch market softening? What do I think is the difference in quality between Lange and Patek, and how do I choose what watch to wear in different weather situations? All that and more on Federico Talks Watches today. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my H. Moser Pioneer, and I'm wearing it on a Moser rubber strap. I was on a short little vacation, and as you can see, I did change my strap out. And also, guys, don't forget to check out DelReyWatch.com. We just got in a 2022 Rolex Datejust with a Wimbledon dial. Supposedly the hardest one to get, and actually there are not that many out there, but there is one on Del Rey Watch. We have an Omega Ploprof, one of the toughest purpose-built dive watches ever made, and this one's in really good shape. Don't usually see these in good shape because people beat them up. And the new Grand Seiko White Birch. Grand Seiko continues with these awesome dials, and the White Birch is no exception. All at DelReyWatch.com, link in the description below. Anyway, guys, these are the questions you asked me on my Instagram account at Federico Talks Watches. When you see the Q&A picture pop up once or twice a month, feel free to ask a question. That's where I check them. Please do not DM me, as I do not check those. But in no particular order, MFresh00121223 says, "Hey Fed, greetings from hot and humid Singapore. Congrats on the recent weight loss." Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. "Do you ever choose to wear a different watch based on the climate you're in? What would be your go-to watch in the tropics?" Absolutely I do. If it's on the colder side, say 75 degrees or cooler, not very humid, I like leather. I prefer dress watches. Most of my watches are on alligator or leather, but I don't like to sweat through the band because they are perishable and they are expensive to replace. If it's a little hotter, I tend to go bracelet or rubber. In a very hot climate like Miami, I tend to go with rubber because I can adjust the strap. It's hard to adjust a bracelet always unless it has a quick release. Strap have colorful options. So yeah, my Breguet Marine, my Moser Pioneer, my GP Laureato on a bracelet, all great options. But if it is on the cooler side, I do prefer to wear alligator. But something in the tropics, something water resistant, and on a rubber strap. That's what I would go for. Yoad Hakim, "Hey Fed, if you had to compare between Lange and Patek, do you think Lange overcome them in regards to finishing, value for money, and technology?" Absolutely, especially in the less expensive pieces. Patek makes a very nice watch, but there's a big difference between a super expensive Patek and an entry-level Patek. The level of finishing on the movement is not the same. Whereas in a Lange, whether you get a simple Saxonia or you get a Datograph, they are finished to the same level. Now, yes, the movements are more complicated and less complicated, but the finishing is the same across the entire collection. That is not so on a Patek. A lot more detail in their higher-end watches. Generally, I do think Lange gives more bang for the buck. I do think their movements are sturdier, but Patek, of course, is the bigger and more prestigious name, which is why there's a difference in price. But yes, I do think Lange overcomes Patek generally. Camille Mrouet, "Hey Fed, hope you're doing well." Thank you, I am. "In your opinion, which brand sells their watches in the best packaging or boxes?" Camille, I hate watch boxes. They take up space. Most of them, even though they look fancy, are made to a shit quality. The leather peels, the wood cracks. I like when a company uses something I can use. So, for example, Bremont, even though I don't love their watches, or Peter Speak Marin, or some of the Omega limited editions, they come in watch rolls. A nice piece of leather that I can then store my watch with and use it to travel. And it doesn't take up a lot of space, and they tend to age a little bit better because leather is leather. I prefer a watch roll or a travel case than any of these sort of fancy schmancy watch boxes you get when you buy a watch. They are useless. Fran Esposto, "Hey Fed, great watch content recently." Thank you. "I was hoping you could talk a bit about how you as a watch dealer decide what to bring in for inventory. Is it based on demand, your own personal preference, or a mix of both?" Fran, it is a mix of both. Now obviously, I love the quirky stuff, so I specialize in selling the quirky stuff. Laureatos, smaller brands, stuff most watch dealers wouldn't even touch. And that's because I'm known for liking this stuff. People know that if they come to me, I usually have this stuff in stock. So yes, I do put my personal preference very heavily into what I bring in for stock. But of course, I also look at numbers. What sells well? What makes me money? I mean, this is a business after all, and I need to turn a profit. So while yes, profitability and demand plays a big part of what I buy, I also am willing to take in quirkier stuff and learn what their demand is because that's what I like. And I have learned that I can still make a very decent profit on selling the less in-demand pieces just because there's less competition and because I'm one of the few people willing to sell that and take a risk. So win-win on both sides. And then VIP Vault. Hey Fed, love to see you on your weight loss journey. Thank you. The Patek prices are coming down. Do you think Rolex is next? Yes, Rolex is already next. Rolex is already happening. And I know a lot of people are going to call me out and saying, oh, I'm full of crap and I'm a Rolex hater. No, but the Rolex market, the watch market in general, the past month is less than it used to be. I don't know if you guys saw me put a lot of my Rolex section on sale and discount some prices. Prices have come down. Dealers have a ton of inventory. Now, I'm not saying prices are where they should be or they haven't come down 100%. They're not half, but prices have absolutely come down in the last month. Things that were selling for 30 are now selling for 26. Things that were selling for 26 are now selling for 23. You know, the trend of always going up has been broken. And the past month, prices have started to trickle down. Dealers are overstocked. And will they come down further? I think so, and I also hope so, because I think prices are nuts right now. But, you know, disagree with me all you want in the comment section, because I know people will. You're wrong. Prices on Rolex have absolutely come down in the past month. That is a fact. If you don't believe me, well, you know, that's your problem. What can I tell you? But it is true. Guys, shorter little episode today, but I'm working on another one for the end of the week, something you'll like, I really hope. But in the meantime, please give this video a thumbs up. It really means a lot. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content. And of course, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.